my computer. Awesome. And then can you guys see my screen, or at least Carolee?
Yes.
Oh, yay. I'm so new to this. So I'm like, is this gonna work? So like, so this is all about the essence of motivation, and hopefully I can get through it like 20 minutes and then we can have a real good discussion. Feel free to ask any questions at any time, because I think the more we can make it pertinent to us and what we're doing and what we're trying to achieve, that would be awesome. Because a lot of times people are, when I talk to my clients and I hear them, they're like, I'm just not motivated to go. Like, for instance, today it's like, oh man, it's raining. I'm not motivated to get out there. So when we can break down those parts for our motivation, we can totally see where we're at and try to aim at that part where we're missing at. It's kind of like becomes a checklist. So there's 6 things you want to focus on with motivation. And if you can, if it's possible, take notes. I know you're driving, Shireen or Carolee, I know you're at work, but like take some mental things to really try to think about this. And you also have the recording to help you move forward. But one of the things I really got out of this weekend in Phoenix was like 2 things, and actually really, 2 things in life that really change you. Something new from your life changes you, like an experience or like an event, or maybe just even a Zoom call, that can change you. The other thing that changes you is from within. And for me, I think it's a little bit of both. It's like understanding that, wow, I experienced the Phoenix trip. And then, so what am I going to find within when I hear about motivation, or when I hear about, these things that I need to break down and figure out in my life. So that's what I'm sharing with you. And one of the things I want to start off really by saying is, I'm going to ask and request that you allow yourself to be true to who you are today. It's really like the idea of like making sure that, a lot of times I have to allow myself to be open. I have to allow myself to be able to let go of some things in order to create room for new things on my plate or new beliefs to come in. So I'm really going to request that from you, because here's what's up, right? A lot of you guys, a lot of people see me as like fit, a lot of people see me as like motivated, and a lot of people see me as like, I own my own business, or I'm my own, fitness motivator. Like, they see that. But what they don't really know is my life wasn't meant to be this way. When I grew up, I grew up in a home that didn't allow me to talk. It told me to be quiet and to keep my things locked up inside of me. And that's really what I grew up like. When I would get home, no one would ask me, hey, well, how was your day? People would just be like, all right, it's time to eat. And we would get around the table and it would be completely silent while we ate. And the only time people talked to us if we were in trouble. And it was more important to, I don't want you to think that there wasn't love, but that's how people were taught how to show love. We were taught that showing love was like about following the books or following the rules, and so for me, like, I would come home and it was more important to look good and to follow rules than it was to take risks. And that's really the environment that I grew up in. And so being an entrepreneur, being somebody that is like has purple hair or anything like that, or speaking out where my passion is really not what's supposed to be in my cards. And so that's why I'm so passionate about the works. I'm so passionate about my rule to do you, to find that passion, and to have the kind of health that you can kick ass in life. That's really what I'm all about. And that's where my passion is, because that's really what drives me. And so when I talk about today, the essence of motivation, a lot of people, I reach out to all of you, and that's where I'm asking you to allow yourself to really, because if I didn't make the decision that I was just going to, decide that I was going to be the way I was because this is where my passion was for fitness, for myself, then I wouldn't be where I am today. I would still be like, I don't know, teaching and just following all the things that people told me to do. And so I invite you to like open up and just try to take in what I'm trying to say and really look inward and be like, okay, that's where I'm missing with my motivation. Because these are the three parts of motivation. There's a spark. So I'm switching gears now from my story to hopefully giving you some information that will help you with your story. Is when there's a spark, right? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the spark, the flame, and then the bonfire. The spark is like the initial stuff that gets things going. The flame is sort of like that little burn inside of you. And then the bonfire is about how to keep it going, how to keep the motivation, inside of you to keep going to the gym or to keep, a serene doing the things you want to do for the people that you love, or Caroline, for you, for your son, how do you stay motivated for all that? And essentially we're going to go through each one. So the spark has two parts to it. So the spark, the initial spark in you really comes from ambition. And if you could see my screen right now, and if you can't see my screen right now, that's okay too. It has a, Bitmoji of me that just says dream big. Because what ends up happening, I know for me, I was told, or I was taught indirectly, that having ambition for life was selfish. Like it was something that I shouldn't have, because it was more important, like I said before, to follow the rules, to dress right, to keep my legs closed, to be a lady at all the time. I mean, legs closed, you know what I mean? To sit like with my legs closed and to sit with my hands on my lap. I didn't mean it in the other way. Well, yes, I meant in the other way too. Like I'm Catholic. So, it was all about, ambition to want to have something outside was seen as selfish, because I was meant to serve people and to be in that lane. And if ambitions weren't in line with being Catholic or serving people, like in a way that, to go to church or things like that, then it was seen as not right. So I challenge you to think about what your ambitions are with health, with your mental health. Like, my story. I'm all about, figuring out how to have anxiety in my life and still own it. That's my goal, is to be able to own my anxiety and have it in my life, but still be successful. And my emotional, what's your ambitions with your emotions? What's your ambition with your family? What's your ambition with your mission or your careers? Like, where is it? And I really give my credit to my husband, because yes, like sometimes some ambitions have to like give to others, right? You can have it all, but sometimes there has to be some. And my husband's ambition for my family is far more important to him than it is for his career and for us and for me to get where I want to be. And I love him for that. And he totally told me, he was like, listen, like having our family and being here for my family is more important to me to have what I want. And so one of the big whys that I have in my family is to make, so much money so that I can serve people in a way that I can bring more into the works and bring more to the people that are at the works, but also at the same time make so much money so my husband can one day be the environmental lawyer that he wants. That's my ambition. So what I ask you guys to do, and I'll always have an ask, is like to think about, hey, look at your goals. And I want you to like feel it. Like when I mean feel it, I want you to think about it like as if you have it already. Right? So my ambition is to help 100,000 people really get that in order to be the best and to kick butt in their life is to have health and fitness. Right? And so that's my goal. And so I see that. I see 100,000 people helping. And I don't mean I help them directly. I mean, I help Caroline, I help Serene. And so that you guys spark that light in other people so that they can see it in you. So that's my goal, is to the people that I am with and surround me. I can just see it. I can just see when Caroline works out and she posts about it, somebody else in your home country is going to be like, yeah, I'm going to do this because Caroline does it. Or when Serene, you're given like a big, like, big speech and you tell people about your health and fitness goals, you're going to inspire someone in that crowd to be like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Or someone in your workplace. Or that's how I see my mission is like dropping little lights in people through every Zoom, through every, through the things that I'm doing. And then it just spread out. And that's my goal. And I can see that. So I challenge you guys to look at your goals. Can you close your eyes and have you written it down? Like, and seeing yourself really grow up to be like that mom that has it all together, and at the same time seeing Sebastian grow up, and Serene, that's Carolay's son, and that's who she works for, that's her why. So visualize it from front to end. Like right now I'm visualizing the works in 5 years, having so many success stories that it is like blowing up the roof. Like every corner of the gym is filled with success stories of people that are just changing their lives and showing how they kick butt in life. So that's the first part of motivation. It's really having ambition. And that's with the spark. And then the next part with the spark is having expectancy. So ambition and expectancy. What is expectancy? That is really like, if you can see my Bitmoji, it's kind of like a Care Bear. I know you're from my time, Serene. You know when Care Bears used to like glow out that light from their hearts? There's a rainbow of a heart going outside of our heart, because expectancy is having this belief. It's like having this superpower that you believe in yourself so much that you can just say, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this. So that goes along with ambition. The ambition to do what you want, to have that passion to get what you want. But at the same time, the spark is having that expectancy, the belief that you got it. Because guess what? This is the number one thing that I got out of this weekend, is having the right mindset, right? And the right mindset is, if I don't have what I want now, I'm going to freaking build it, right? If I don't have 100,000 people following me right now because I've got a huge message and I want to help so many people, guess what? I'm going to build that sucker. And guess what? I'm going to choose progress. And I'm going to learn every step of the way. And how am I going to do that? I'm going to do that by finding mentors, by finding coaches, that finding trainings and going through trainings and finding a way to do it, because I know I can build it, right? And that's what I'm talking about. Because guess what? We can either be caged like I was when I was a kid. You know what? I used to have to stay in my room all day long and just stare at the wall and do my homework in my room until it was time to eat. And so honestly, I would sneak out, like, because I was just like, I would sneak downstairs and go out the back, out the door, and totally slip outside to really hope and pray my grandma didn't see me, and slip back in. And oh my God, if I came back and the door was locked, I was in trouble. You know what? I would be spanked and, all that stuff. And so I really got it that I'm not meant to be caged, nor are you, nor is anyone on this call. Like, and we're not meant to just be comfortable either. So what I want you to be is fired up, knowing that you can build it with the right education, with the right mentoring, with the right people around you. You can build it. And that's all about the spark, right? So the spark is, again, about you having an ambition that you can see, a goal that you can see and really live into, and then believing that you got it all the way. Because I believe in you, like, and other people believe in you, and you've got to, I heard this the other day, you don't like prove the people who have been telling you that you are wrong, or you don't live the life to prove them wrong, right? Live the life to prove the people in your life who have believed in you this long, like Sebastian, or the people that have stood by you, your parents or whoever it may be. Like, prove them right, because you're going to totally do what you want to do when you can remember to prove people right that believe in you. So let's move on to the next part, right? So you've got the spark, boom, it's there. Then you've got the flame, the part that burns just a little bit. And that's really where I was like, oh man, I'm not doing a lot of this. This is really where I was like, I am dreaming up all I want, but I'm not doing a lot of this. And the first part to the flame is attention. Do your goals have your attention? What has your attention? And this is the part that I thought hit me the most, because for me, I'm on and off. I'm hot and cold with my goals, because what I mean by that is like some days I'm all about it. I focus on it. But the next something comes into my life and I'm like, ooh, I want to do that. Or something else comes into my life and I'm like, ooh, I want to do that. Because here's what's up. The more you focus on something, the more it grows. So when you think about like your health and your wellness or whatever goal you're working on right now, are you really focused on that, or are you scrolling? You know what I mean by scrolling? If you can see my right now, I got my hand out and I'm scrolling up and I'm scrolling down and looking for the new shiny thing, right? And like, for instance, like, because what ends up happening is our lack of focus creates a lack of motivation. So for me, I was like, I have not been focused on my goals because I've always wanted to do this. I've always wanted to get in front of people. But you know what? I feared it. I feared it so much. And I still am scared. Like, I'm scared to do every live. I'm scared to do, every part of the Zoom calls. But then I look at what I want. And when I saw it there, and I have this awesome planner called High Performance Planner that helps me see my goals every day. So every day I have to write that down. And so when I look at it every day, I focus on it and I get on it. And don't think I'm a martyr here, or not. I don't want to use the word the martyr. Don't think I'm like, have this perfectly in line. I've been using that planner for maybe 8 days. This is my 8th day because it reminds you, because every week you like do it again. And so, but I have been so fired up after using that planner because it has my attention every day. It's the first thing I get out, and maybe the second thing if my kids get up, but it's the first thing that I get out, because then I look at what my goals are. I have to write it down. And it also gets me to write down basically what I'm going to be that day. Because in order to be what I need to be for all of you and for me, like I have to decide what am I going to be that day. And today I was like, I'm going to be the kind of person that is present to what's going on, present to what's going to happen, right? Because I need my attention to be where it is. And that's the next part, right? Attention. So I request from you guys to think about it, because here's our life, right? Most of ours, because I know I'm there too, and I'm including myself in there. I scroll and then I find something and I'm like, ooh, I like that. And it's going to grab my attention. And here's what's happening to the brain. The more we scroll, the less we have attention. It's making us so that we are attention deficit, that we have less attention because of all the scrolling we're getting. Like, can you imagine like where folks are going to be in the future because they scroll? So that was like a big wake up call to me, because you're either going to be scrolling or you're going to have momentum. Choose one or the other. And for me, I keep my scrolling to a minimum. Like because I've heard this, I'll be like, oh, I'm only scrolling for like 20 minutes and then I'm off Facebook. And then I'm back. Like I have scroll times because I know as part of what I do, I need to be engaged in it, but I have engagement with purpose. Remembering my intention for Facebook is to make relationships and connections so I can get to my goal of 100,000 people to help. So what I request from you is to set a goal in front of others, right? So my goal, I've put it out there. So I want to hear your goal, and I want to hear your goal, Caroline, Serene. I really want to know. And do me a favor. The earlier you get to doing the things you need to do in your goal, the easier it's going to be. So for instance, like if you are meal prepping, or if you've got a goal to write a book, or if you've got a goal to write a speech or something that's creative, that needs to be moved to the front of the day. because research shows that's where most of our attention is. So think about that. What do you do in the morning or in the earliest part to help you get to where your goal is, right? So really think about planning your day. And that's totally another Zoom, how to plan your day. So that's the second part so the flame, the first part is the attention. The second part is the effort, right? How much effort are we really putting into what we're doing? And that really makes sense. Like for me, like I was kind of like not planning. I was kind of like winging all of the things that I was trying to do. And Emmett's on the call now, so you might hear him. Like I was really winging it. Like especially in class, I was like, okay, I have a class to teach. I'm just going to wing this and see how we're doing. But dude, I'm not going to really get my message out if I'm only putting a little bit of effort into things. So now I know, see, that's the second thing. I was like, man, in order to get more motivated, I need to put more effort toward things, right? Especially these kids. Serene, I know you can't see me right now, but the little man's on the back and I'm like shaking him, trying to keep him like quiet. But that's the effort. Like even in my own house, I was like, okay, I'm not motivated to clean my house. Well, how much effort have I really put into that? And so think about that. Check to see if it's the effort that doesn't motivate you, because guess what? Action makes momentum, baby. That's just like physics. If you are going down a hill and you're doing something and you're taking action after action after action, guess what? You're going to continue to get motivated, because the more you go to the gym, the more motivated you are. The more you put your sneakers on and you just go, the more motivated you are. Today is like my 11th day of eating clean and getting on this like sugar detox thing. And I totally went into Los Tios, right? And Los Tios is so hard for me to like not eat the salsa. And I had been eating clean for like 11 days, and it just became kind of like, oh, there's the salsa, right? So put the effort in there to get that ball rolling, and then once you got more and more effort, you're going to continue, right? So that's the other part to it. All right, how are we doing out there? I'm going to unmute you for a second and just see how we're doing. Carole, you getting something out of this?
Of course, yes.
What are you getting so far, Carole?
Reassurance of what I'm like planning to do, and I'm doing it.
Yeah. How about you, Serene? What's going on over there?
Yeah, for me, I'm thinking, so twofold. One fold is I'm on the cusp of deciding like how to kind of start my own business. Like while I am, and the business is focused on like women of color in healthcare.
Yes.
And so I'm motivated. I'm like a hesitant entrepreneur in that realm, but then also I'm thinking that I'm going to do the Whole30 in April. So I bought the book yesterday, but that's kind of like all I did.
Awesome. Cool. And then I'm going to use that when we talk about this bonfire, right? Because the bonfire is next. So we got two kids behind me right now pounding on my back, but we're going to make this happen because I am focused. So the bonfire, right, goes to the next part, which is the bonfire is the part that keeps things going. So big part of that is having a great attitude. And that's really important, right? So thinking about, hold on, Violet, gotta turn this down, Steve. Okay, cool. So attitude is a lot about having that positive and optimistic long-term creativity, right? So that's the one thing I'm gonna stress here, because right now, if you look at my screen, it says "Still I Rise," right? It has my hand in a fist, and I'm like, "Still I Rise." And if you've ever not listened to the song by Audra Day, "Rise Up," that is the song I wake up to every morning. There are 3 songs I wake up to every morning: "Rise Up," "I Can Only Imagine," and also "Defying Gravity." Those 3 things put my mind right. Why do I talk about that? Because if you want to do things long-term and have that long-term burn and have things like move forward, especially like with your new business, Serene, like how do you get it to go from a book to being where you want it to be and having it really flourish? It really has to have the right attitude. And that's where you need to check. So for you, to my to-do list, for you in this realm is to check where, what does your self-talk look like? What does it sound like? When you picked up that book, Serene, did you say, man, I can't do this. There's no way I can do this. Or were you like, I got this, right? So you really got to check in with what your body and your mind habitually tells you. So what does it say when you do something new? And to change that self-talk language, right? And that really comes from putting in new like habits. Like I learned some new habits, so tune in for the next Zoom on new ways to change your mindset and to change your self-talk, because it really takes a mix of doing bodily things and repeating things over and over again. So I ask you to think, hey guys, what are you telling yourself, right? So going from where you're at and really going from what you want, what you say to yourself. Sorry guys, I have to leave my room. My kids are all attacking. But here we are. All right. So keep that in mind. That's the fifth part, is going from for attitude, really checking that. Then the last part, the very, very last part, is your environment. Hey, teamworks, right? Or whatever it may be, right? So I have a picture here of me with pom-poms where it says teamwork, right? This is really key, because one of the things that really got me was, you'll always hear, I've heard this a lot, that you are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with, right? And you need to surround yourself with people that are with similar goals. I've always heard that. But what was different and new that I heard recently that really made a difference for me was, Brendan Burchard going, no. You don't only need to be like surround yourself with people with the similar goals. You also need to be the linchpin. And I was like, what the heck's a linchpin? I actually had to look that up. So what is a linchpin? If you look at the screen and you can look at that wheel there. So the linchpin is like, there's a wheel and there's like an access point. I might not be using the right words, but there's a needle through the access point that keeps all of it in, that keeps it running. So it's the thing that makes sure that it works right. Or you can think of it also as a nucleus. So you want to be not only surround your people with similar goals or people that inspire you or are doing what you want to do, but you also have to step up and be someone in there that's not only just going to be there to absorb things, but really be a change agent, the cheerleader, the person that's going to be like, I'm going to make this happen and I'm going to help other people make it happen. Because guess what? The more we help other people, the more doing what we want to do or doing things that are similar, the more we're going to get it, and the more momentum and the more we burn. Because guess what? Now I'm accountable to all the people that I'm trying to help. And so that motivates me, knowing that Carol was going to get on this call, that people are going to get on this call, that I'm recording this so that people will hear it. Like, I am totally motivated by that. And so that's it, right? Those are the 6 things that is going to make a difference in your motivation. So again, 1 was the spark, right? Thinking about our ambitions and what we really want. 2, expectancy, really believing in ourselves that we can do it, really believing that you can make nothing, something out of nothing, right? For you, starting a new business, you can make it all happen because you believed in that possibility, Serene. And then the flame, having the attention to really pay attention to the goal that we want and what we're trying to achieve and what we are, putting our mind, instead of scrolling through life, we're going to create that momentum by paying attention to our goals, having it all written all over the place, having it in our hand, in our phone, and when we drive, like having the attention to the goals that we want to achieve. And then, of course, putting the effort in it so that we can definitely keep that momentum going. And then number 3, how to keep the bonfire, getting bigger and bigger and lighting up that sky. That goes along with having the right attitude, having the right positive, optimistic attitude for you inside, and really managing that self-talk and really listening to the loud whispers in our mind that are really telling us what we need to be doing rather than what we habitually hear. And lastly, our environment, right? Surrounding ourselves with people that totally get us, and then also that light us up and fire it up. But not only that, just being the change agent, being that linchpin so that we can really make things happen. So, whoo! We did it. Awesome. I'm going to unmute you guys because I want to hear what's up, what you guys got out of that, and any questions you guys got for us.
Mamacita,
Yeah.
te voy a llamar en un ratito.
Oh.
Yeah, bye-bye. Bye. Yeah. I'm going to call her later. I'm sorry.
No worries. So,
Okay.
Carolee,
I just got distracted for a minute.
No worries. Carolee, Serene, questions, comments, thoughts?
No, it's great. Keep talking. I want to hear you the whole night.
Oh. Thanks, Carolee.
I really liked the whole, like, the part about the bonfire part, like having the right attitude, managing your self-talk, like that really, I'm really good at like paying attention to my goal and putting in effort, but sometimes my attitude doesn't match, like I just get overwhelmed or don't think I can do it, or, it just becomes too much. And so that part resonated with me a lot, like just having the right attitude. I mean, I do meditate every morning, but still,
that's awesome.
Maybe like 4 hours after that, I'm like, oh, I can't do this. It's too big of a problem. I can't help women of color. Too much.
Oh, no, dude, you can. You can, Serene. And one of the things that I know is that it just starts with one, right? Just starts with one, because then it gets overwhelming. Like, like you just start with one and you just go from there. And one of the tricks also that we learned this week that I really practiced today, because today was like the first day that I could really be at home the whole time, was like every 50 minutes, like letting my alarm go off and taking a break. Because what ends up happening is like we pile through, right? And so by the end of 4 hours, we're like, well, what if you took that break and took that time to, if not meditate, or really go back to look at your goals, or, do some jumping jacks or some, some movement, then going back to it. And then like incorporating the movement with some positive self-talk, right? So today, like for me, I'm taking on 3 different things that I want to be responsible, I want to be intentional, and I want to be magnetic. Those are the 3 things that I am trying to be. So when I took my breaks, I was like moving and shaking and saying those things to myself as well too. And then there was a time period where I was really stuck. So I was like yelling around my house. I was like, I own my day, because I just wanted to like go to sleep and take a nap, because me, I'm like the anxiety and the depression side kind of kick in, so I'm trying to crush that by just saying things like, I own my day, I own my dream. Like, this is not going to happen to me. I'm going to, I'm going to beat it. And so that's what I've been trying to do in order to help myself stay in it. And it's not easy. It's not easy. It was like a matter of, do I go to my couch or do I stand up and say these things like a crazy woman? And I was like, I'll be a crazy woman because I really need to get this done. And lo and behold, like, I got almost everything done I needed to do today in order to make the day matter. So
that's great.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm so
like
excited for you. I got your back. Whatever you need to help you with your business, man, I got you. It's so cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. What else is out there? That's cool. Anything else, guys?
No, this is super great. It was really good.
Awesome.
I never thought about breaking down motivation that way, like into those steps. So that's good because it's not like, do you have it or not? It's like, it's tertiary. So I like that.
Yeah. And for me, it's like, okay, so what do you mean I'm not motivated, right? I have a goal. I know I can do it, and so it really became for me attention and attitude sometimes were my two things that I was like, oh, okay, I need to pay attention to this exact spot so that I can really figure out how to be better motivated. So, yeah, man. I have a huge favor of you guys. Just go back to that fitness secrets page and just share how awesome this Zoom was. So the next one we can get more people. I'm hoping to do it twice a week so that I can give more information out. I'm going to just aim for one right now. And maybe this isn't a good time, so I'll pull people on a good time. But I also, for me, had to figure out, should I do it before my kids or after my kids go to bed? So, but we'll see. Right. So if you could do me a favor and just share, that would be awesome.
Thank you, Maya, for your time and for everything.
Yeah. No problem.
Thanks, Maya. This was great.
Awesome. Cool. Have a good night, guys. Love you guys. We'll see you soon.
You too. Love. Take care.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
How do you stop this thing?